Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite NHL DFS plays for this Tuesday, January 9th slate. And we got ourselves 10 games here tonight where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and then we'll wrap up the video with 3 low-priced options or sub 4K forward plays. With that being said, let's dive right into this. And we're going to kick things off here by highlighting the 10 games that we have on this slate tonight, showing you the money lines and over-unders. First set of games here, we got the Sharks taking on the Maple Leafs, Kraken at Sabres, Kings at Lightning, Canucks at Islanders, and the Anaheim Ducks taking on the Nashville Predators. Next set of games here, we got the Blue Jackets at Jets, Panthers at Blues, Oilers at Blackhawks, Bruins at Coyotes, and the Ottawa Senators taking on the Calgary Flames. And then here's a schedule update for this week. Got an NHL DFS video coming out today and Thursday, and then I'm going to be putting out an NFL DFS video on Friday, breaking down my favorite tournament or GPP plays for that 3-game slate on Sunday for the wild card round. With all that said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. First being that first line for the Edmonton Oilers. We got McDavid centering Hyman and Nugent Hopkins. Certainly an expensive line stack here, but in a great matchup on the road tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks. This line has truly been one of the best 5-on-5 all year long. Of 100 qualified lines so far this season, they rank first overall in expected goals percentage, first overall in expected goals per 60 minutes, and 5th overall in shot attempts per 60 minutes. Needless to say, the offensive upside is massive, and I like the correlation we get with these three as well, all playing up on the Oilers' #1 power play. And then a cheaper line stack that I like here tonight is that second line for the Winnipeg Jets. We got Nemestikov centering Iafallo and Perfetti. Good matchup at home here tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that's allowed 3.63 goals per game this year, the third most in the NHL. We're going to see Iafallo play up on the Jets' #1 power play, and then Perfetti and Nemestikov play down on their #2 power play. Obviously, I'd like all three of those guys playing on the same power play, but I'll take it with all three of them being on the special teams, especially considering their price. And the Blue Jackets have really struggled on the penalty kill here as of late, hitting at just a 73.7% rate in their last 6 games or since the Christmas break. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. I got hockey content coming out for you guys all year long. Alright, now diving into some of these individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. First guy that I got is John Tavares of the Toronto Maple Leafs, priced at $7,200 here tonight in a great matchup at home against the San Jose Sharks. Honestly, I'm okay playing any one of the big four for the Maple Leafs here tonight. If you want to go with Matthews, Nylander, or Marner, I have no problem with that. I tend to lean on Tavares here, especially in tournaments, because I believe he still has some positive regression coming his way, especially in the goal department. You can see there on the graphic, he's racked up 12 goals, 22 assists, 34 points in 34 games this year, but he ranks 7th overall in the NHL in expected goals at almost 21. So again, I believe there's some positive regression coming his way while playing on that second line and #1 power play for the Maple Leafs. Now, I know I just highlighted that second line for the Winnipeg Jets as a cheaper line stack tonight, but I also wanted to highlight Nikolai Ehlers here, the Jets, priced at $6,700, obviously in a good matchup against Columbus, but I wanted to highlight him in particular because he is a solid cash game play at this price. He's played his best hockey here as of late with 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points, and 47 shots on net in his last 12 games, and for what it's worth, I have no problem stacking up that first line for Winnipeg tonight either. They're just a lot more expensive than that second line, and again, I wanted to show you some value that I found on this slate with that second line, but again, we could go with the first line here, we could go with their #1 power play, because this is such a good spot for them at home against Columbus. Now, just like the Toronto Maple Leafs, I'm really okay playing any one of the big four forwards for the Florida Panthers tonight. I'm going to highlight Carter Verhaeghe considering how well he's played here, but if you wanted to go with Reinhart, Tkachuk, or Barkov, again, I have no problem with that. Verhaeghe here priced at $6,500 in a matchup on the road tonight against St. Louis. He is truly playing awesome hockey right now. He's got 9 goals, 7 assists, 16 points in his last 10 games, averaging 17 Draftkings points per game while playing on their second line and #1 power play. And really, this Panthers team is just playing great hockey in general. They've now won 7 straight games, and their power play has been scorching during that winning streak, scoring at a 32% rate. And then I also like Nazem Kadri here tonight of the Calgary Flames, priced at $6,000 in a good matchup at home against Ottawa. He's been solid all year long with 13 goals, 17 assists, 30 points in 40 games, but he also leads this Flames team in expected goals, shot attempts, and shots on goal, so there's certainly no lack of opportunity for this guy playing on their second line and number one power play. And this Senators team, man, they just can't seem to figure it out in their own end. Goaltending's been very shaky. They've allowed 3.57 goals per game this year, the fourth most in the NHL, and they have the league's worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 71% rate. And then dipping into the 4K range of forwards here tonight, I like Gustav Nyquist to the Nashville Predators, priced at $4,500 in a good matchup at home against Anaheim. Really an opportunity play with him up on that first line and the Preds' number one power play. He's made the most of that, especially as of late, with 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points in his last 10 games, averaging 11.5 Draftkings points per game. And this Ducks team is not afraid to take penalties, averaging 4.6 minor penalties per game this season, and that's the most in the NHL. Now, moving on to the defensemen here, and my top 3 plays I'm going to highlight as guys that I would be willing to spend up for here tonight, and then I'm just going to highlight a bunch of value plays. I can't say I'm thrilled about the value options here on this 10-game slate tonight, so I wanted to just give you a handful of different options for you guys to look through. With that being said, if I'm looking to spend up here tonight, I do like Roman Josi of the Nashville Predators. Just talked about how good this matchup is when highlighting Gustav Nyquist, and you're going to get a very well-rounded defenseman out of Josi here, someone who logs big minutes for this Preds team, plays around 24 minutes per game, plays up on their number one power play, and plays on the penalty kill. He can definitely get on the score sheet with 8 goals, 23 assists, 31 points in 40 games this year, but like I said, a very well-rounded defenseman who isn't afraid to shoot the puck, averaging 3.3 shots on net per game, and averaging close to 2 block shots per game as well. I'd also be willing to spend up for Evan Bouchard of the Edmonton Oilers here tonight, priced at $6,900, again in a good matchup on the road against Chicago. An offensive defenseman who's got 9 goals, 30 assists, 39 points in 36 games this year, playing around 24 minutes per game, and up on that Oilers number one power play. He averages around 3 shots on net per game and close to 1.5 block shots per game. Not quite the same numbers as Roman Josi, but definitely someone who has some really nice upside and a massive ceiling on that Oilers number one power play. And then I wanted to highlight Thomas Chabot here, the Ottawa Senators, priced at $5,500 tonight in a matchup on the road against the Calgary Flames. Now, he's been on the IR a couple of times this year, but when he's in the lineup, he's been very good, logging around 23 minutes per game and playing up on that Senators number one power play. He's got 7 assists through 13 games, essentially averaging a half point per game, while averaging 3 shots on net per game and close to 2.5 block shots per game. So I do like the upside that he offers. Certainly a tougher matchup tonight, but if you go look at his game log on DraftKings, it's been very solid in terms of DraftKings scoring. And then when it comes to value defensemen here tonight, as I mentioned earlier, it's not my favorite slate, but I did want to give you a handful of guys here priced in the 2 to low 4K range who could get you double-digit DraftKings points, starting with Torrey Krug at the top at 4.3K, all the way down to Parker Wotherspoon at the bare minimum, a 2.5K. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here for you guys, and if I'm looking to spend up here tonight, I do like Connor Hellebuck of the Winnipeg Jets, priced at $8,300 in a good matchup at home against Columbus. He has truly been great all year long with a 26-3 record, save percentage of .921, and a goals allowed average of 2.27, averaging 15 DraftKings points per game, and he's been even better as of late, going 8-0-2 in his last 10 games. He ranks 6th out of 72 goalies this year in goals save above expected per 60 minutes, and I like that the Jets are heavy home favorites here tonight, sitting on a money line, a -260. And then if I'm looking to save some money at the goalie position here tonight, it's hard not to highlight Joey Daccord to the Seattle Kraken right now, priced at $7,600 in a matchup on the road against the Buffalo Sabres. He is truly playing lights out hockey right now, going 7-1-2 in his last 10 games, with the save percentage of .955, goals allowed average of 1.39, averaging 22 DraftKings points per game. He currently ranks 27 out of 72 goalies this year in goals save above expected per 60, so you're really riding the hot hand right now, considering how well he's played as of late. And as always, going to wrap up this video here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays, and I'm going back to Jake DeBrusk here once again to the Boston Bruins, currently playing on their second line in number 2 power play, priced at $3,800 here tonight. Was held off the score sheet last night against Colorado, but prior to that, in his previous 6 games, he had racked up 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points, and had played some really good hockey. The next guy I got here then is Cole Sillinger, the Columbus Blue Jackets, priced at $3,500 tonight. He has a tough matchup against Connor Hellebuck here for sure, but he's currently playing on the Blue Jackets second line in number 1 power play, and he's made the most of that here as of late. He's actually coming fresh off of a hat trick where he racked up 43.3 Draftkings points, and he's just kind of played well here as of late in general. 6 goals, 2 assists, 8 points in his last 10 games, averaging 13 Draftkings points per game. Now obviously that outlier score of 43.3 is kind of adjusting that quite a bit, but needless to say, he's kind of found his scoring touch here lately. And then the last guy that I got there is Dylan Guenther of the Arizona Coyotes, priced at $3,000, currently playing on the third line and up on the number 1 power play. He actually has just played 1 game so far in the NHL this year, and it was against the Winnipeg Jets just a few days ago. He had a goal in that game, 3 shots on net, and racked up 13 Draftkings points while playing close to 15 minutes. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 10-game slate. And in the meantime, I'm out of here.